What's your question?
Good Cathaoirleach, and I would just like to thank the Ceann Comhairle's office and the Minister for accommodating me this morning. Minister, my question is, what emergency contingencies and supports are in place to safeguard Irish SMEs and export businesses from a hard Brexit scenario if the UK leaves the EU on March 29, 2018 with no deal in place?
My good, and I just want to thank the Deputy for raising this matter. My department and its agencies are working to provide extensive support schemes and advice to ensure that businesses are prepared for Brexit. These measures aim to assist businesses in identifying key risk areas and the practical preparatory actions to be taken over the coming weeks. Brexit is one of my top priorities and was central to my decision on the allocation of the additional 14.2 million current and 65 million capital funding I secured as part of Budget 2019. For example, I provided an additional 5 million to the LEOs, 3 million to Enterprise Ireland, 2 million to IDA Ireland and 1 million to Intertrade Ireland and extra staff for regulatory bodies of my department to help businesses prepare for Brexit, together with funding for the new Future Growth Loan, longer-term loan scheme and the new IDA Regional Property Programme. The €300 million Brexit loan scheme, which was launched in March 2018, provides working capital facility 1 to 3 years to eligible businesses with up to 499 employees to help them innovate, change or adapt to mitigate their Brexit challenges. The Future Growth Loan Scheme was announced in Budget 2019 to provide a longer-term facility, 8 to 10 years, to support strategic capital investment for a post-Brexit environment. This €300 million scheme is jointly funded by my department and the Department of Agriculture, Food and Marine. Loans of €50,000 to €3 million will be available to eligible Irish businesses, including those in the primary agriculture and seafood sectors, to support strategic long-term investment in a post-Brexit environment. In May 2018, the Rescue and Restructuring Scheme was extended to include temporary restructuring support for those enterprises with acute liquidity needs. Enterprise Ireland has established additional supports, including a Prepare for Brexit online portal and communications campaign, an online Brexit SME scorecard, a Be Prepared grant, a new Eurozone strategy to help SMEs broaden their export footprint beyond the UK. In addition, the Agile Innovation Fund provides up to 50% in support, up to €300,000. Enterprise Ireland also recently launched a new Customs Insights online training course to help all businesses understand how customs work. In order to help build the enterprise capability under the Regional Enterprise Development Fund, Enterprise Ireland invested in 7 successful projects in the border region with a total funding allocation of more than €10.6 million.
Opportunity to come back. Deputy Butler, 1 minute.
Thank you. Minister, the Department of Finance said a disorderly exit of the UK from the EU would reduce Irish GDP and economic output by over 4% over 5 years. Unemployment would increase by 2%, which equates to 55,000 people losing their jobs. Now, this uncertainty is very worrying, and indeed, as we all know, it's out of our hands at the moment. We're very dependent on what happens across the waters. But, Minister, I suppose my question is, are you confident yourself that all possible contingencies have been taken within your department? You have said and stated that Brexit is one of your top priorities, which is very important for business enterprise and innovation. So again, my question is, are you confident all possible contingencies have been put in place to equate against a hard border, a hard Brexit that we hope will not happen?
Thank you. Just to say that I accept that the figures were announced by Department of Finance in terms of a no-deal Brexit, and the results show that in a no-deal Brexit our economy would grow, but at a slower rate. And the Department of Finance forecasts GDP growth of 2.7% in 2019, and that's down from an estimate of 4.2% growth in budget 2019 in the event of a hard Brexit, and growth of under 1%. That's down from the forecast of 3.6% in 2020. In terms of jobs, by 2023, total employment would increase by around 178,000, but this would be some 55,000 below the budget 2019 forecast, and employment in 2020 would still be higher than this year, but by a smaller amount. And just in relation to the supports we have available, we have a broad range of supports available through my department, through the agencies, and I am satisfied that we're doing absolutely everything we can to ensure that businesses are prepared for Brexit. And the one thing I would say to businesses, if you haven't prepared, or if you haven't identified the risks in relation to your business, please do so, and please avail of the supports that the government has available, because there's a wide range of them.
Final member for you, Deputy Butler.
Minister, I could just turn your attention to state aid rules. The government, I believe, is still refusing to seek state aid rules exemptions at EU level to introduce direct supports for exposed export businesses. This falls directly under the remit of your department. Now, during the week, the Taoiseach confirmed at the IFA AGM on Tuesday that the government has alerted the European Commission to the fact that we will seek emergency aid for the farming sector in the event of a no-deal Brexit. Minister, has your department made a similar request to the Commission for Irish businesses and exporting companies in other exposed sectors?
Thank you. Just to say that I met Commissioner Vestager last week, and she certainly acknowledged that we have the highest exposure to Brexit, and we will be most impacted, and just to say that the EU stands ready to act urgently. We've had a lot of contact with my officials and a team at the Commission's office. We've been doing a lot of work on that, and I'm satisfied that the Commissioner is fully aware of the difficult situation that Ireland is going to be, find itself due to a no-deal Brexit, if that happens. And she has reassured me that she will act very quickly in terms of any requests that we may have.
Margaret Arra,